Hi there, and welcome to Reflections with Rhonda Jones, my co-host.
Monica Livingston.
Oh my gosh, I really missed you.
Oh, we missed you too.
I know. And then also my co-host,
Ruthie Wyburn.
Ruthie's awesome, and I miss these ladies, and Kimberly too. Kimberly's doing the work of the law today, and so she won't be with us. But she's doing some needed things for her family, and I think that's what really encompasses our weeks. It seems like lately we've three of us have had mommy problems and mommy health problems, and dealing with that, and it's overwhelming. It really is. I thought about this coming week. At least 4 people in my immediate family have doctor's appointments, and three of them are elderly, and it's wow.
You know, I thought of something a while back. Kimberly and I were talking because this is before Nan had gotten sick. We were talking about how both of our moms were ill and needing to go to doctor's appointments. We were trying to help them, and it dawned on me that I have a sibling to help out, whereas Kimberly is the only child now since her brother had passed away years ago. And so I was very thankful and counting my blessings that I do have someone to share that responsibility with me, whereas she doesn't. It's pretty much all on her and her husband and family.
Sure.
So there's always a way to look at things where makes your situation doesn't seem as bad. So
yeah, you got to look for it. It's out there.
Yeah.
Ruthie, how was your week?
I can't remember.
Uh-oh.
I guess it must be okay. I spent time with Dee, and we bought some flowers and put in my flower bed, and put some annuals in little things out in the back that we changed. That way we can change them all the time. The one in the front, though, I want perennials, so they come back all the time. But we added some, but other than that, it's just been the same old stuff, Nothing,
Same old.
Yeah, nothing to jump up and down about, but still a good week.
Yeah.
As long as you can speak and walk and do exercises and be happy, it's a good week.
It's a good week. That's a good week. Mama.
Well, it's been a pretty good week. We have had car issues for quite a while now, and we took the plunge and bought a new vehicle, which, there's always pros and cons to that. Of course, there's the car payment, and it depreciates when you drive it off the lot. But I think what boiled down to is that, you kind of don't buy anybody else's problems.
Yeah, you're buying their depreciation when you buy their car.
and how they've upkept it,
Yeah.
upkeep on it. If
Yeah.
they've kept up everything they're supposed to do. Warranty-wise, and so we have a warranty and a new vehicle and a payment. But it's exciting, and the car's nice, and so it's no eating, no drinking in the car for the kids.
I told the grandkids, they told me that this morning, and I said, don't worry, parents always change their mind. You just give it months or maybe 6
In a rush
months.
to get somewhere,
Yeah,
and stop and grab a burger.
swallow this. Yeah, I said, don't worry, it'll work out for you. So just a little grandmotherly advice. I seem to be on the wrong side of that coin because I give I think it's good advice for kids, but it's bad advice for the parents. So, anywho, all right. Well, let's jump right into it. And I want to say one thing that I saw on Facebook this morning, and I want to say, a couple of things. Whenever I was at the hospital with my mom, there were times if she was in a procedure or something, if I wasn't like feeling sorry for myself, sitting there or something, or texting somebody, I was looking at Facebook, and it seemed like I got kind of mean. Like I couldn't stand people's drivel. I don't know. I just decided I was going to make the world better, and I'm not talking about my friends. These are people that were in a conversation, and I didn't know them, and I would comment to them in front of everybody. And one lady, she was like, there was an article about the little boy, and he was abused, and you could see his bones through his skin. He was 5 years old, and he was kept locked up in a closet, and he had bruises and everything on him, and it showed his parents on the side. And so during the course of the conversation, a couple people put, Lord, please help this baby, and just, God, help him. And so it just struck me wrong. It struck me wrong. And so I typed out, well, looks like if God was going to help him at all, he would have helped him before, you could see his ribs and stuff. I was just, I don't know, I got kind of snappy and snippy, and it's not a good look for me, not a good look. And so, yeah, what do you think? Don't you think?
I agree with that. God put us here on this earth, and if we see something going on, it's our responsibility to try to fix that, not wait.
Mm-hmm. No.
We're God's hands. Let's use them, for Pete's sake.
There you go.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Advice.
God help. You're going to wait till the boy is on death's door, and then, you expect. It just struck me wrong.
Yeah.
And this messed my whole week up. After that, I think I was mean to people that I love dearly, and our friends on Facebook. I was mean to one of them, and I felt really bad. Sorry. You know who you are. Okay, Mo, you have something to talk about.
Sure. On the subject of being mean. No, really, I don't think what you do is mean. I mean, sometimes we have something to say, and it may come out a little bit unchecked, unfiltered.
Yeah.
Maybe. But what this woman did was downright mean. There was a bus driver in Texas.
It's always Texas. I hate to say it. I love people in Texas, but it seems like Texas has its share of idiots. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
In Lawrenceville, Texas.
What's wrong with me? Okay.
At an elementary school bus driver has been disciplined, fired, from what the article I read said, after she was heard, and it was on video, her not only making fun of a child, but getting the other kids on the bus to chant, cry, cry, I want my mama, cry baby, and make fun of a small child on the bus who was crying.
It hit you wrong.
Oh yeah, it hit me, wrong, because, having children and kids are impressionable, and they learn, and they're going to copy adults, good or bad, and so here you have someone who they look to as an authority figure. This is their bus driver. They're told to listen to the bus driver and to mind what the bus driver says while they're on that bus. That bus driver's in authority over them. And then here this bus driver is teaching these children by her actions, getting them to do it. And they're being taught at school bullying's not right.
Right. There's a whole campaign about, Ruthie. No, 1 second. When you were going to school, were there bullies? Because I think this is almost an epidemic now.
I really don't remember bullies as such. There were people that would tease, like somebody would untie your belt behind you when you went to get off the bus or something. But that really wasn't bullying. It wasn't something that happened over and over again. It was just
Teasing.
A thing.
Or,
just a thing that happened. And our school bus drivers, and I had more than one, so I can say drivers, they were always courteous. They took care of the kids, and if a couple of the boys got out of hand and were fighting on the bus, she stopped the bus, they got off, and they walked home. Of course, you couldn't do that now, but they took care of the people, and the only time I ever saw one say anything was when two boys were fighting and they wouldn't stop, but I never heard them say anything that was derogatory toward any child on the bus.
And this was actually witnessed in video that she was doing this. She's saying, "Come on, y'all say," and getting these kids to chant and make fun of this crying child. This article that actually I pulled up here to reference does not say that she was fired, but
Really?
if I was that child's parents or any parent of a child on that bus.
Yeah.
On the news report, it said she was fired.
Yeah.
So
That's what I remember, I think, hearing is that
that's
on the
only
news
right.
report.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's only right.
she should have been fired, and people got to make a living, but I wouldn't hire.
No,
if
because
I was somebody, I wouldn't be hiring her in my place of employment.
Right.
Not a chance.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
That's being a school bus driver, and I know nothing about it. I've had them like Ruthie, but you are in a position of, needing to have extreme, fantastic judgment about situations, and for you to do that tells me, because I think the bus driver has to, have all these safety courses and has to, all kind of things. People with guns. I mean, they have to take care of a lot, and
Right.
this woman is not responsible enough to take care of those types of
Can't
situations.
even keep her behavior in check. How's she
No.
supposed to keep children's behavior in check, let alone deal with a situation where, like you said, faced with a wreck or faced with, a gunman or who knows? I mean, it's just, yeah. And there's no way if I was another place in that, I mean, she'd have to move. Cause
Oh, yeah, you'd stalk her? Kind of?
no, I wouldn't be stalking her, but I'd be putting the word out. She's looking for a job. I don't know about you,
Wow.
but I won't be going to your place of employment if you hire her.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I know she needs
Kind
a
of hold
job.
a grudge
Yeah.
much.
Well, I probably shouldn't, but
It's easy to do when something
yeah,
involving
I mean,
your child.
Children.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Just bad.
You are bad. Ruthie, you had something about a lady, a mother. You were telling us a story. Tell the folks this. This is
I
crazy.
didn't watch all of it, but on 2020, I believe it was last night, they had a program called Parents Like This. And there was, the two that I watched was women that had left their husband and children and went someplace to have a life of their own. And this one mother, when her youngest child was Down syndrome, and her children were spaced pretty far apart, but she left them because she decided she didn't want to be a mother. She wanted to do her things, and so she left her husband and children on the East Coast, and she moved to the West Coast. But she talked to her kids on Skype, and she visited them sometimes, and they'd come visit her. But it was more like you bring your niece or nephew type thing.
Yeah.
But the children seem to be okay with it. I don't know where I stand in this because I'm not in her shoes and this type of stuff, and I won't condemn her for doing it because the kids, she didn't abuse the kids.
Right, and I guess that would be my point with it is that, I mean, it would be better for a woman to realize that and to have the discussion and to walk away than to not have the instincts or the desire or the ability to take care of that child and to abuse that child, It sounds like from a distance that she did maintain a relationship.
Yes.
Well, that in itself does speak that there was something there.
Yeah.
She felt something for the children, but realizing their limitations. Now, granted, it would be good if you didn't bring the children into the world before you realized that, but I would rather see that happen than to see people that are moms or bring children into the world and then abuse them because they can't control themselves. So,
Yeah, very true. When you were first telling the story, and this is so true to me, I'm sort of a snap judgment person. I always have been, but I've tried to overcome that type of a mindset. And when you were saying it, I was like, that's just pure sorry in my mind.
Right.
But then when you stop and think about it, everything you both said rings true, and better off away than there, because you'll make the whole household miserable if you don't want to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Just
You
like
will.
I know a lady that let her husband take her kids and move out of state, and I don't know all of the circumstances. I just know that she gave up her kids, and I've met one of the kids since they became an adult, and I don't see that that she's harmed in any way. So you don't know what's going on. You don't know how that person feels. You don't know what stresses they're under, and you just can't judge a person unless you're right there and you know everything that's going around and you know what this person's thinking in their mind.
right. And
Yep.
even if the child wasn't physically abused, I mean, there's
Right.
the abuse of just being neglected and not showing any
Yeah, you can
compassion
tell.
and love
Yeah.
and anything to that child,
Mhm.
any interest in them, and that sometimes can do just as much damage
Very true.
as, you know, whacking them and them getting a broken arm, you know, or
Right.
shoving them into a wall, or, you know, some craziness. So,
You know, some women, for whatever reason, and there are many psychological reasons and also physical reasons, that a woman does not bond with her newborn, and even later, you know, I think there are bonding moments. It just doesn't happen as soon as they come out of the womb. You either do or you don't. You know, it takes time sometimes. But I wasn't ever like that. It was just immediate flood of everything for me. But some women never bond with their children, and they want to horribly bad. They just want to so badly, and they don't. So if you're not bonded there, you know, it'd be like taking care of a friend, or you said like maybe a niece or nephew. That would be horrible to force something like that. You know,
yeah.
my opinion. All right. Do you have something else that you want to bring up?
Yeah, well, we had seen several articles that you had sent earlier in the week.
Yeah. Well, what about the mother that didn't she refuse cancer treatment?
Yeah.
And then she succumbed, I think the article said, to cancer after she gave birth?
Yeah. The lady's name was Elizabeth Joyce, and she was scheduled to be in like a documentary or something, and they had her in there talking about her pregnancy and different things. And it was all different stories about pregnancy. And just a few months after she became pregnant, she was given the diagnosis that she had cancer that returned. She thought it had been eradicated years before. And she was 36, and she was part of the documentary, and it was exploring each week of pregnancy. And she ended up refusing the treatment because she didn't want to cause a problem with the child that she was carrying. And she continued her pregnancy and had her baby in January, and then died 6 weeks after giving birth to her child. You know, so you have women like this that have such a desire to be a mother and to bring a child into the world, and then you have them, you know, that really have no desire, probably do it because it's forced upon them or told them that they should, and you know, and or they feel obligated to for whatever reason, you know.
But you know, the thing is, now the child is motherless. Now, you know, at an early age, or just any age, if you're very adaptable, a child can certainly adapt to a new mother. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Do you, I don't know.
Right.
What
Well, I
would
think
do.
that she probably made the right choice for her.
Yeah,
her
for
family.
her. That's right.
Apparently, you know, she didn't go into getting pregnant knowing that she had cancer. She very much, you know, thought that she was cancer-free, that it had been eradicated, and then she finds out, you know, while she's pregnant that she has cancer, and to do the treatments would potentially harm the child. You're faced with, do I take care of myself or do I take care of this unborn child that I'm carrying, you know? And I think then her motherly instinct kicked in to protect that child
Sure.
versus to protect herself. I mean, maybe she believed in it, and I think the article even alluded to that she believed they did take the child early, around 25 or 26 weeks.
What?
I think that's what it said. Around, yeah, like going ahead and delivering the child, or you know, C-section or whatever, around 25 or 26 weeks. I think is what it said. 6 weeks early, delivered by C-section 6 weeks early. So, you know, they did end up, you know, having the child come a little bit early, but the baby was healthy and viable at that time.
Yeah.
And I guess the thought was that as soon as she had the baby, she would be able to get treatment and stuff, and probably started treatment, but by then it was too late. It had spread too much. So, really sad story there.
Wow.
Very sad story.
Let's talk about something nice and
Uplifting.
cheery. seems like we bring a lot of sad sack stuff to you, and we hate that about ourselves.
But we do try to bring some good things, like the the woman that had cancer a few weeks ago,
Yeah,
and all of her friends,
that's true.
shaved their heads.
Shave their heads.
Yep.
To surprise her
Would
and
you
to
do
show
that?
support for her. And then we talked about the little girl.
Oh, no, don't. Yeah.
I've always been really vain about my hair, and that's something that I'm getting over as I get older, because I remember there was a time that
Oh, my God.
I
If I had
would
cancer,
just-
you wouldn't shave your head for me.
well, didn't you say that day that you would do it for us?
No, I wouldn't do it for you. It doesn't prove anything. You know I love you. I'm not going to shave my head for nobody.
I would.
No.
There's a chance I might. I don't know, but I know that there was a time that I had a really bad haircut, and man, that really bothered me, and I had to.
A time. That's
All right,
funny.
y'all cameras off. We're finna go to blows.
Momo.
I know
Yeah.
it looks bad right now. My hairdresser moved.
Look at this mess. Okay. But anywho, Ruthie, would you do something like that?
I don't know.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I might, but I don't know. And you can't say I would not do that, because you don't know until the time comes for you to make that decision, which one you're going to make.
I think I agree with that. I agree with that.
You can say, well, yeah, I think I would.
Or I wouldn't.
Yeah,
But I might.
But until you get to that point, and the person that's had their head shaved and their relationship with you, that's what makes the decision.
Now, question. Now, if there was a whole group of us like in that photo, and you were going to be the only one in the back like that lady was, which I'm not knocking that lady. There may have been reasons, maybe she wasn't told in enough time. She was just told to come to the picture, and then here all these women are bald, and she didn't.
Yeah.
I don't remember the article that well and didn't, dig into it, but would you want to be the only one in the back there that didn't shave their head? And
No, I look like an a-hole. No, I wouldn't want to be the only one with the hair.
My problem with shaving my head was I'd have to wear sunscreen on my head, because if I'm not careful when I'm out in the sun, I get sunburned through my real thick hair that I have. So I'd have to remember to sunscreen my head.
we do
Sunscreen
make
it.
nice hats.
Sure.
Big, fancy.
I don't like hats.
No, it
I
makes it
can't
too
breathe.
high.
I'm like a whale. I breathe through the top of my head, so if I wear a hat, I can't breathe.
We have to get her do-rags.
Yeah, I like this. I hope we didn't get off of context. But, the thing is, we...
Doesn't matter. It's our show.
Yes, right, it's our show. We do what we want. And it's your option to watch it. Okay. The thing is...
Everybody just started cheering.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a video of a lady that had cancer, and all of her friends, it must have been about 20, 30 of them, shaved their heads for her. And we were like, would we really do that? I don't think I would. I'm saying I probably wouldn't, because I would expect you to love me enough to say, please don't do that for me, because you like your hair and you want to have hair. And so I don't want you to be like me, But I understand why people do it. Don't get me wrong, folks. It's great. But I would not want my friends. I would say, please don't do it. And she did ask them to shave their heads.
Yeah, she
for
just
her.
wanted a photo shoot with them and all of her friends together,
Yeah.
and she was really surprised by
Yeah,
it. So.
they all came out, bald-headed, and some of them looked absolutely stunning, and some of them looked like 10 miles of bad road. I'll be honest with you, they did not look good. Anyway, moving on. It's like I have truth serum in my veins now. Just tell it. Oh, wow. Okay, we're talking about tonight at the place, we're talking about evolution still. I don't know how they didn't cover most of it today. It was like 2-hour long show. But I'm just sort of, it's not a subject you can cover in 50 minutes or an hour or 2 hours.
Right, and it wasn't like if I understand correctly, the format that it was going to be, it wasn't going to be like he had just 2 hours where he spoke uninterrupted, but there were other people that would chime in, ask questions, or possibly give rebuttal to things that he said that, if I understood the format of it.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to be in here.
Well, tonight we're going to have hopefully some people that are dead set against it. They oppose it vehemently, and they're going to be on the show because we want opinions from everyone. We want people to be able to say exactly what you feel, what you can prove, more importantly. But like this show, we give our opinions on it. Some things we can prove, some things we don't need to prove. We just say what we feel. But at the place, we do like you to come with some information that is, productive information that people can search out, look at, test, hold, feel, and come to a good conclusion of their own. And we all may be at different conclusions, but if you're looking at the same evidence as I am, and you come to this conclusion, and I come to another conclusion, you tried, I guess. You used information at least instead of just coming up with an opinion. That dog sure likes you. We have a mascot around here. Her name is Jackie Brown, and she is
One day
gorgeous.
she's going to be a guest on our show for real.
I think so. Jackie Brown, come here, Jackie. Jackie Brown, come here. Maybe she can.
We all love Jackie around.
Maybe she can lay on the couch. She's so sweet.
Come on, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
Come on. You love Ruthie is your
Jackie.
girl. Ruthie is your girl. Come here.
We're going to do your formal
She loves
introduction
Ruth.
to. Oh, there's Jackie.
Hey, Jackie Brown, you are so sweet.
She's
You
a
love
best
Ruthie.
dog. Best dog.
Sit up here. Okay.
She'd probably sit in Ruth's lap.
She sits behind me in the,
On the seats.
Yep.
Yeah. She's bigger than Ruth, so that would. Oh goodness. Okay. Well, we have some more time, and so let's talk about. Well, I want to save the cat. There's an article I sent to the ladies about someone coming up with a study saying that the trap, neuter, release program that they do for the feral cat communities is bogus and it doesn't work, and here's why. Next week, hopefully we'll get Beverly Julian to come on the show, and she's our local liaison almost to the community of the Northwest Florida Wildlife Sanctuary. And she's a big proponent of, feral cat communities are, they can be positive if you, participate in them and help out and do whatever. But maybe I'll send the article to her and ask her to be on the show, and we'll talk about why I think there are so many, like I'm a big researcher, but to me, when I read the article, I could see so many holes in it. And if I can see a hole in something, pretty much you got some mess on your hands. If I can spot you out and see. You didn't do a very good job of laying your argument out. Anywho, I think, I used to make fun of a friend of mine. This friend had, I think one time, 8 cats. And I would make fun of my friend constantly. I mean, over the top. And now I have become my friend because there is a feral cat community between the studio and where we live. And I participate in it and I try to help them out. And not only that, it has, I don't know, nobody likes them really but me. And I don't know, am I a hoarder? They say that people that, they just hoard it on the outside, but I don't think so.
No, because, if somebody wanted to come and take the cats and give them a good home, you wouldn't be against that. You're not having to have all the cats for yourself and stuff like that. You feed them because you don't want to see these animals starve to death. You don't want to find them ran over in your driveway. You care about the animals, and I think that's a good thing. We like to pick on you and call you the crazy cat lady, and she's basically kicked me.
I'm actually sitting on a chair that has white cat hair on it, and I would never vacuum this for all the money in the world because our dearly departed cat, Coco, she used to live in the studio, and everywhere you would look, it was terrible. I'll be honest with you. She had white hair everywhere because everything in here is black. You know what I mean? Everything was so patient, but she was the sweetest baby, and she passed away on October 21st, 2 years ago. And anywho, but I have a chair here. We have black chairs, and there's white cat hair on here, and I just feel privileged, just like being around my baby. I don't know what I ever call the
when she stands up later,
psychologist.
We'll give you all the back shot.
No. I don't want to have the wide angle zooms in today. Okay, but anywho, I was getting at a point. Oh yeah, next week we'll talk about that. And so,
Sounds good.
Yeah, it was a good article, but I can see some holes in the logic.
Well, I know last week we talked about the lifting of the ban on gay marriage, in some states, and the way people are treated, you know, in the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transvestite community. And we had an article that we sent to each other that was about a woman who, unfortunately, it's a horrible article. Like we said, we seem to bring these bad ones to you sometimes. A Michigan woman who took part in the state's first same-sex marriage was beaten unconscious on Monday.
They sought her out because
they'd seen her on TV.
Yeah, they saw her on TV. And a group of men, I'm going to do this. My little niece does it all the time. And people that air quote all the time. It's sort of a pet peeve, but I'll do it sometimes, which is still a pet peeve of mine. But a group of men sought her out. Not even boys. Don't do disservice to G. Oh, no. A group of men sought her out to beat her.
But they basically sought her out. They used some anti-gay slurs and punched her in the face, knocked her to the ground, and then when she was on the ground, kicked her. She was knocked unconscious, and, you know, she can identify, I think, one of her attackers, possibly to some degree, you know, height and weight and, you know, possible age. But the other ones haven't provided the, you know, details on that. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe she is able to identify them, but they haven't released it, you know.
Oh, come on.
But that's just awful, you know, to do to anybody. But, you know, we sit here and we talk about being for this community and, you know, trying to give our voice in saying, you know, everybody deserves the same rights, and, you know, here this woman's beaten, you know, and it's awful and it's horrible. And I brought up the conversation about, you know, how do we deal with people that you know, we encounter, that we know, that have a differing opinion than us, you know. It's not so much that they have to have the same opinion as us. We, you know, like here at the place, we do value all opinions, but at the same time, when they are hateful and ugly and use these anti-gay slurs, you know, just like if someone was to use a racial slur, you know, how do we deal with that? You know, I mean, do we, you know, we've started the conversation a little bit last time about that.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know, Ruthie, what's your idea?
Well, I always say, how would you feel if someone treated you like that? Because you believe in God, how would you feel if someone treated you like that? Or because you think this way, if you like cats and I don't, how would you feel if I beat you up for that reason? You know, we don't think enough about other people. We're too self-centered.
Right.
And this world is supposed to be getting better. But when I look at the school bus drivers of my time, and the school bus drivers, or not all of them, but some of them, of today, I'm appalled that we have adults interacting with children that are selfish. I just, you know, I just can't comprehend it, I guess. It makes me feel like the world's going downhill instead of getting better.
Well, then I do agree sometimes about that, for sure. Well, I agree with you that sometimes I think the world is getting worse. And then I wonder, is it because we can find out information quicker and you know, more widespread information, and you know, people with social media, they just get it on there real quick, and we are recording everything. We're taking pictures of everything in this world. I mean, you know, they're looking for this plane with, you know, satellites of just teeny things in comparison to the great big ocean, and they can see them. So you know, people that used to be paranoid, they would almost lock them up, Ruthie, because they were paranoid that they're being watched or followed or whatever, and you are. And so
yeah.
Most people needed an apology.
But
they are watching us.
But why can't we put stuff on Facebook about this person helping somebody, or and this type of stuff? Why can't we put the good news on there?
Well, you do.
More than
both.
the bad news.
Yeah.
Because or either we have too much bad news and not enough good.
There is more bad, I think, on there.
Yeah.
Well, then we're not getting any better. I saw a tract when I was a young mother, and the title of it was "A Better World Begins with You." and it talked about how these people would go around and try to help their neighbors and this kind of stuff. And I think that's our motto. We should say that the world will be better tomorrow than it is today because of something I am doing.
Very good.
And I agree with that. I agree with that
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. And, and that was kind of my point
Yeah.
of, what I was saying a while ago.
What are we going to do
that,
about it?
How do we handle it? What do we do about it? Because an incident happened where it was people I knew, and they actually made some, one of them just kind of made comments that were very negative in nature towards someone they believed was a gay man in front of my children. I don't know how much the kids are paying attention, but sometimes when you don't think they're paying attention, they'll come out with something. And I don't want them to learn this behavior, no more than I want them to sit behind a bus driver who's sitting there teaching them to taunt and bully a child that's crying.
Right.
And so, here you've got somebody that makes a comment of that nature, that's negative. I think we have to address it in some ways. Do I want to start an outright uproar with this person and ruin relationships? No, not necessarily. But at the same time, you would think that people would realize, but
they don't. They just don't.
And
know
I'm human
better.
too. I make mistakes and say things, and around kids and my kids. I mean, I try not to go out there and just be awful, but we make mistakes.
Yes.
But at the same time, usually, if I say something that seems derogatory or negative, and I've realized I've done it, I try to bring it up and show that, hey, I'm human, I made a mistake. Let's not do this. I'm about to sneeze. Sorry.
Yeah. I was wondering what you're doing. I was like, I kept hearing you going.
Sorry, I was about to sneeze.
I
Allergy. It's our Florida snow that we have, the pollen that's covering everybody's vehicles. You can't see it on mine.
You ever heard of yellow snow? It's a different yellow kind of snow. It's pollen. It's horrible. But I'm not even plagued with allergies, thank God. So.
You're so lucky.
And when I say thank God, that's a euphemism, because I don't believe God didn't give me allergies and everybody else because I'm special. I don't believe that. I believe I'm special, but not because I don't have allergies. Anywho, I think a lot of times we just have conversations about helping the gay community, helping the underprivileged, people that need water. We talk about it, and we do things, but I always think we don't do enough. We do more yapping than we do action.
Yeah.
And so I want to encourage you two ladies to, when a Memorial Day weekend, this is like, they call Pensacola the Gay Riviera. And so I want us to go out to Pensacola Beach and set up a tent and encourage.
As long as I don't have to drive.
You do have to wear a bikini, though.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You wouldn't do it?
No. I don't wear a one-piece bathing suit, let alone a bikini.
Okay.
I don't like showing so much of my flesh.
You gotta look.
I mean, she's the only one that got the body for it. She won't do it. Everything.
Do you realize how sick I would be with all those blisters from being in the sun?
It's probably got more sense than any of the rest of us.
I know it. I agree with that. But during that weekend, I was just jesting with you because, whatever. But I do think we need to do something special. We need to do something welcoming to the people that come and spend a lot of money here in Pensacola, and they have, a great time. And we need to do something or be involved in something that's giving them a positive.
Be people out there that are being very
Anti.
negative and hateful and ugly, and so it'd be nice to do something that would, stand up against that, and counteract that, and show support.
True.
So.
Very true. I was having a conversation this morning with your husband and my husband, and we were talking about a lot of things, but on Sunday mornings, usually we have a conversation. This one this morning lasted extra long, kind of like the show at the place. But anywho, I was trying to say that it's one thing for me to say, and I'm using this as an example. This isn't how I feel, but I don't really agree with the homosexual lifestyle. Blah blah blah. That's one thing, okay, for someone to say that. I'm not saying that, but it's another thing to be actively against and be an anti, gay rights person.
Right.
Why go so far to one way or the other and be anti something? Just say, I don't
Right.
see it. I don't see it.
know.
I can't understand it. Whatever.
Me either, because that's not the way I think. But it's okay. I know people that think that way. I've been friends with gays over my lifetime, and they were the same as anybody else. I mean, there was no difference in the way they acted toward me. There was no difference in the food they ate, the way they wore their clothes. They were just people, and they just thought different.
I thought you had a little bit of the Wizard of Oz in you. There's a
That's my opinion.
there's a gay establishment here in town called, is it called Emerald City? I think so. And y'all gonna think I'm really stupid or uninformed, ill-informed, but what's the association between the gay community and the Wizard of Oz? Do you know? Is it because what?
Maybe a play off Rainbow, because
Over the rainbow? Yeah,
so I don't
could
know.
be.
I haven't
be.
ever asked
Anybody-
why they picked this name. So.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. Do you know
I don't know
why
but,
they associate it together?
but
the gay community.
a rainbow has bunches of different colors in it, and the gay community has bunches of different people. Well, the world has bunches of different people in it, so
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. Why not? Everyone embraces the rainbow. Oh, that's Skittles. I think. No.
Something like that.
Okay. Well, let's just be nice to people. Good Lord. Whether they're that way, that persuasion, another persuasion. But then people will say, well, if you're not anti child abuse, you're not anti pedophilia, you're not anti this, then I'll have to check myself and say, yeah, I am anti that. And so, there you go. There you go. I am. All right, we got a few minute wrap up. What's on your mind? What are you going to do Memorial Day weekend to help the gay community
I don't
when
know,
they
but
get
I
here?
Think, I think that we should, if any
Should do
viewers
something.
out there or anything have any ideas, anybody that is in the studio has ideas, we're open to suggestions, and
Yeah.
let's brainstorm. Let's do something. Let's not just yap about it. So.
Yeah. We're going to stop
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
a lot of yapping, and we're going to do a lot of doing.
Like I say, I wouldn't mind going, but like I say, that's too much traffic and that's way out of my comfort zone for driving.
Well, I understand that. I really do. Well, we could, they post events and everything that's going on, and we could support. We can go and support.
Find some way.
Yeah, we will. I tell you what, this touched my heart was whenever we had the show, the 2-part show on homosexuality in the Bible. Donovan Shaw is one of our Facebook friends, and he and his wife are Instagram friends with me. But he wrote a paragraph and said, I just want to apologize to the gay community. I've been wrong. I've been mean. I've been ugly. I'm paraphrasing it. But I want to say I'm sorry. And, it takes a big person to say that
Right.
when you've wronged a whole group of people.
And he's never done anything against them, but he's had a wrong mindset, and he's admitting to that, and that in itself is an againstness. So, and I can say that being raised in,
Sure.
Christian, well, it's not necessarily my parents that raised me in a Christian home, but being raised in the Christian community, the mindset is the mainstream Christian community is very negative and very hateful
narrow.
and ugly. And I like that the artist pastor, David Pastor.
David Hayward, yeah.
Yeah, he did a thing where it showed using the Bible, and it's saying love one another, and they're beating this gentleman on the ground who's, I think, in a rainbow-colored shirt or whatever. Can't remember the exact little drawing he did, but it's very, very provocative, drawing to show, hey, look, this is what we actually do. And, having had those mindsets, maybe not full on as much hate and gone out there and held the signs and, anything like that, but having the mindset and believing just what I was told without questioning it at all,
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of us that can say, hey, I had some againstness because of this, and it was wrong, and I've changed, and this is where I stand now. So
I used to work in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area a lot for a couple of years. I'd have to fly down there and stay, and fly down there and stay and come back. But I did that a lot for a couple of years, and I got a hardness about me because they have a huge gay community. I mean, they embrace everything and anything. And I'm not saying that's what the gay community is, just but they do. They have all types of alternative to the mainstream lifestyle types of people there, should say. But I got so hard because I saw a lot of it, and it just, I just was in a bad place as far as my mind goes toward other people, and it just made me always upset. I just saw it all the time, and I just didn't want to see it anymore, and I got hardened, and I feel bad about that. I'm like, if I have to see that, I just self-righteous. That's all you can say for yourself when you like that. That's what it is, but not anymore. Not anymore.
Yep.
Okay.
We grew up a little. We probably still have some more growing up to do, but
Yeah.
we grew up a little.
Yeah, we did.
We can encourage somebody else to grow up a little bit too.
That's right. Just think about it, All right, tonight we're back at the place at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we have Greg Bray again, and I hope we have some, I want to say I hope we have opposition, but I hope we have the counter position to the evolution theory, and I think we do, and so come back at 8. Don't forget the rest of the shows today, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.